E-commerce businesses can absolutely play a positive part in climate action. We can all play a positive part in climate action. And in fact, they kind of have to if we want to be moving the needle forward. Everyone does. I think the biggest mistake that a lot of e-commerce businesses make is that they wait for their customers or they wait for an input to then be reactive to and then force their hand, whereas they should be proactive. If everyone's proactive, then that's going to be pushing us further a lot quicker than if we wait to be told that we have to do something, which is kind of what's happening at the moment. The customer sentiment has been increasing strongly for the last 10 years, and now Australians overwhelmingly, want some sort of climate action. 88% of customers want companies to help them live more sustainably, do better, and over 90% positively motivated by companies that are doing something good for the planet. So it's a strong business incentive to just do the right thing, as well as customers are saying this is what we want. And the ABC did a survey of over 50,000 Australians, and it showed that the average Aussie was willing to pay $200 towards climate action a year. That's a lot. It's just, the question is now, where do they actually spend that money? My name's Oliver. I'm one of the co-founders at Future Neutral. Future Neutral is a company that specializes in carbon offset at checkout. What that means is you've probably bought an airline ticket before and you've clicked the little box that allows you to carbon offset when you buy your airline ticket, but we give that to any retailer, so all their customers can carbon offset when they check out. Future Neutral was originally trying to figure out, how do we enable customers to have action, right? There is a sentiment of wanting to have action, but most of us don't actually do much after we've bought our Keep Cup. So we said, okay, well, what is the kind of behavioral nudge that someone would be willing to accept, where they're still taking action, they still feel good about themselves, but it's not so disruptive to their life that they're not going to do it. Adding a little couple cents at checkout is very easy for people to do, and we've seen a pretty high conversion rate of up to 20%. So customers are willing to do it if prompted, and so it's just about creating that behavioral checkout. So that was actually what we were originally trying to solve, and in doing that, we tried to then create a solution that made it a no-brainer for e-commerce businesses to get on board with, so that it doesn't cost them anything, it's easy to integrate with, and we do most of the work. We then invest that money into carbon offsets. Offsets can range from $1 a ton to over $100 a ton. It depends on the solution that you want to go with, and yeah, we use high-quality UN accredited carbon offset. We focus on renewables, but also trees. We do work with a not-for-profit in Australia called Green Fleet. They're a fantastic partner of ours, and they do some great biodiversity work and also work with Aboriginal communities as custodians of the land. The first couple ways that businesses can get involved with carbon offset is to look internally in their own business, and that means reducing energy use within the company, looking at how they source their materials in their supply chain, and what they can do to mitigate those or reduce those. And so that's why the buy local movement is such a strong thing for carbon offsets, because it means that things are traveling less distances. The second things they can do is start to look at carbon offset. This can be expensive and difficult to do very accurately, because the supply chain is so complex. It's hard to try and figure out, what is the actual footprint of a particular item, and if you change suppliers, how does it change? If that supplier changes energy sources, how does it change your carbon footprint? So it can become quite complex. I think if there's one thing that I could wish for people, would be really only buy things that actually remove a negative from your life, because things that you think are a positive will be very short-lived.